Oh, do all deaf or hard of hearing people wear hearing aids or cochlear implants? The short answer is no, they do not. I have decided and shared that I am creating 5 videos about things that many hearing people think are deaf things, but those things are not culturally deaf, not part of the deaf culture, but often part of a deaf person's experience. One of those things is hearing aids and cochlear implants that I'm sharing about today. So many deaf people do wear hearing aids or cochlear implants, but no two deaf people are the same. No two deaf people have the same hearing loss, the same experiences, would even benefit from the technology. Many do. There are those that don't. And often, with a hearing person, when they have a baby, find out that the baby is deaf or hard of hearing at birth. And sometimes that baby is the first deaf person they've ever met. And their first or one of their thoughts, I've never experienced having a deaf or hard of hearing child. So I'm learning from other people's experiences, but I have heard that often one of the first thoughts is wanting to fix the problem. They don't know how to raise this deaf child, so I need to fix this situation. And often one of those first thoughts of how do we fix this is put a hearing aids or a cochlear implant onto this child to help them be more like their parents. Um, I have 8 years experience as a counselor for deaf and hard of hearing with vocational rehabilitation. I am not an audiologist, so I know the basics about audiology, and the details of the ear and all of the things that go into that, with deafness and hearing loss. But there is more than just, can this person hear? And what can they hear that goes into the decision to give someone a hearing aid or a cochlear implant. The deaf community's opinions about hearing aids and cochlear implants varies widely, and often that opinion is related back to their age, their experiences, where the deaf person lives. Different communities have different opinions about the technology. So it varies widely among the deaf community what their opinion is about hearing aids and cochlear implants. Um, so there is a difference between the hearing aid and a cochlear implant. A hearing aid sits on the ear. That's the sign for hearing aid. Um, and amplifies sound. Sometimes it's a hearing aid is in the ear, not always sitting on top of the ear. But it's sits there and amplifies sound. A cochlear implant requires surgery to implant into the skull. That replacement of or using this implant instead of the cochlea that's inside of the ear. And I will share my screen to show a picture of that. So this is the surgery being done of implanting a cochlear implant. And so this inside part is the cochlea, and this is the outside of the ear part of the cochlear implant. And there is another part of it that is inside of the person's well, they had to have the surgery to implant that. And once that magnet that's on this outside is connected to the inside part, that's what makes it work. Um, so I will stop sharing that. And so the cochlear implant surgery requires a cut, requires a implanting of a device. It is a same-day surgery now, didn't used to be. Um, from what I've heard from individuals' experiences. Um, but it's not just a simple, just put something on your head and let's fix the issue. And I've heard from cochlear implant wearers that the CI helps them hear spoken word a lot better than they used to. If they had understanding of spoken word before, um, it improves that understanding that if they've had loss over time and starting to not be able to understand what people are saying as well as they used to, having that cochlear implant surgery helps them understand again. Um, but I have heard it also makes spoken word and other sounds sound more robotic. I've never experienced wearing a cochlear implant, so I wouldn't be able to explain what that robotic sound really is like. Um, but it's not like put this on your ear and you can hear the same as you heard spoken language before. It does have a different sound. Also, cochlear implants have batteries. Batteries die, as we all know, and need to be replaced. So when a battery dies on a cochlear implant, that kind of halts the listening in that ear of the cochlear implant wearer. And they have to change that battery, and then they can go back to being able to hear from that ear as they did when before their battery died. And so my opinion, as you might guess, of the cochlear implant, it sometimes works really great. And it has helped many clients of mine in my 8 years of as a vocational rehabilitation counselor for deaf and hard of hearing individuals. Many have benefited from their cochlear implant. But where I sometimes have an issue is when a hearing person says, let's put a cochlear implant on this child to help them be more like Hearing Society. And I would go as far to say that putting using a cochlear implant means that someone would benefit even more from sign language learning and using sign language for those times that battery dies or they are when you see someone's cochlear implant, oh, that's a deaf person. So learning sign language to better understand communication at all times, as well as having deaf role models is, I think, even more important when having that hearing aid or cochlear implant. So that's my opinion as a hearing social worker who has 8 years of experience working with the deaf and hard of hearing community. I would love to hear opinions of others. So let me know. And until next time, that is Agape Pa with Jessica Nichols.